Hello again, guys. Welcome to part 2 of my album that is featuring my Colorado trip from September of 2016. We actually left off on this page, all those 2x2 squares. And we're moving on now to the second half of this particular trip. So we're still at the Denver Botanical Gardens here. And even though it was still September, even though it was the end of the month, they had kind of already started decorating with a big fall theme and kind of thinking October and Halloween. These are little wooden shapes. I think they're from Stampin' Up, and I think this card was too. I think it was part of one of their Project Life kits when they were still doing that. And just some more pictures from around the gardens. Here's another one of those instances where I split a photo. So this is one photo cut in 3. And then I'm not a big selfie person, but I really made an effort to make sure that I was in some of these pictures. So there I am. This card, I believe, is from In a Creative Bubble in one of her travel sets. Gotta have the Chihuly art, can't miss that. And then this is just a story about how this glass gazebo, solarium, whatever you want to call it, happened to end up at the Denver Botanical Garden. Pretty cool story. This card, I believe, is also from A Beautiful Mess, as were many of the others previously. And then this is the end of the Botanical Garden pictures. So I think those all turned out well. Now we're going to move on to the Denver Art Museum. I don't go there every time I visit Denver, but a lot of the time they have a lot of great exhibits that come through. And as is my habit, I tend to go for the main exhibit, whatever it was that initially drew me, but then I tend to look at everything else too. So this trip was no different. So this just kind of explains what my intent was to see there. And then you're going to notice a lot of flips in this section. So these are 4x4. So there's a whole exhibit on pottery. So I actually have 2 flips there. And then this was the main exhibit I wanted to see, the Glitterati. And then we have some more flips here. There were just so many pictures that turned out well that I wanted to make sure that I included as many as possible. This ink, if you can see that right there, is the Galaxy Gold that is from Brilliance. There's another flip there. Look at those beautiful pieces. I had to showcase those. Then I moved on from that exhibit. It was fairly small, but beautiful pieces. So I moved on just to their general holdings. So this was the Southeast Asia area. And here we have another flip. So this was China. Tibet and Nepal. Love these colors. So I think some of these patterns ended up working really well to match the artwork. And then this section was more the furniture and decorative arts area. And I do have a flip here as well. Again, just lots of stuff to fit in. Look at that silver service. Absolutely gorgeous. And then here, those nasty 2x2 pockets again that plague me. Didn't quite know what to do with them, so I just cut apart 2 photos again. Then it was on to the Impressionist section, and Impressionism is probably my favorite period of art. And the section in Denver is not huge, but there's enough of interest there, I think, that if you visit and you like Impressionist art, that you'll find something to appreciate there. That's a Monet, hence the quote there. And then after the art museum, I needed to drop off my rental car again. And where I had picked it up was only a couple of blocks from Union Station. So I turned in the car, walked down to Union Station, and spent some time just kind of milling around in there while I waited for my goddaughter to meet me. So if you've never been in there, the terminal, when they remodeled it, is just gorgeous. Let's get a closer look. And then they have this great coffee place in there, so I got coffee for both of us when I was waiting for her. And then I wanted to include in this one some pictures from when I actually got back home, because Denver has a full light rail now. They had limited service before, and now they have a line that actually goes all the way from the airport to downtown and then out to the suburbs. And I think they have another line that's an offshoot that's going to be finished soon too. But we also have light rail here in the Twin Cities, and so I wanted to include that. So this was my ticket after I got back. I took the train all the way from the airport through Minneapolis and then back to St. Paul. So this is the train station in St. Paul. This is the final stop. That's our Capitol building in the background there. And then I had a full 6x8 pocket that I wanted to use for all of my brochures and tickets. So that's from the Ansel Adams exhibit that was featured in the previous video. That's my ticket. That's somebody that I had to contact when I had my little rental car snafu, as you saw in the previous video. And then on this side, I just have a little blurb from another brochure, and then my boarding pass. And then the next section is actually a different trip to Colorado that I will also do a video on later. But this was it for part 2. Hope you enjoyed it.